Next up, we have another high school speaker who's moving outside of her comfort zone, and she's going to be a powerhouse someday because she is building this skill. Sunidhi Ajmera is going to talk about roots and wings, the communities we inherit and the ones we create. Rock the house.
What if I told you that the communities that define us aren't limited to the communities that we were born into, but also include the ones that we dare to create for ourselves? You see, when most people hear the word community, they think about their inherited communities, their hometown, their families, their customs. And you know what? I do too. With roots in India and being born and brought up in New York, my inherited communities have given me celebration, tradition, and most of all, an identity. And it's reminded me that, I'm a part of something way larger than myself, something that started long before me, and something that will continue long after me. And then I realized that these aren't the only communities I get to have. While my inherited communities provide me with my roots, my chosen communities provide me with my wings. In theater, I learned the art of storytelling. I still remembered the nerves of stepping onto the stage for the first time, the bright lights, the silence before the first line, and the whispered encouragement of classmates backstage. And at that moment, I realized that it didn't matter whether I got every line perfect. What mattered is that there were people standing beside me and who were there to support me. And I realized that it's not always about where you come from. It's also about who stands next to you when you're about to take a leap. In debate, I learned that community doesn't always mean harmony. It can mean clashing ideas, disagreements that sting, or even late nights working on arguments you're not really sure will land. But in that fire, you sharpen your voice. In fact, some of my closest friendships began not in calm conversation, but rather in the middle of debate rounds where we argued effortlessly, but then laughed about it together afterwards. And it just shows that community can thrive in discomfort and distrust as long as there's growth and respect at its center. Now, in Scouts, I learned that community means service. It's about carrying the gear on a long hike so someone else doesn't have to. It's about waking up early to cook breakfast for the entire troop while everyone was freezing all night in their tents. And it showed me that communities aren't always built on what we gain, but they're also built on what we give. And that's the most important aspect of it all. And the thing is, all of these experiences, they weren't handed to me. I had to find them. I had to risk walking into a drama rehearsal where I didn't know anybody, a debate practice where I wasn't even sure if I belonged, and a troop meeting where I wasn't yet a leader. But what all of these experiences had taught me was that I found so many different versions of myself that I wouldn't have found if I had stayed just within my inherited communities. And that's when the definition of community changed for me. It went from something fixed or given to something alive, something that we can adapt, we can nurture, we can shape every single day. Think about it. Our inherited community reminds us of where we come from. They are our roots. But our chosen communities show us where we're going. They are our wings. Roots without wings keep us stuck, and wings without roots leave us lost. But when you can make roots and wings work together in that perfect harmony, that's when you get direction in your life. So I ask you, which balance will you create? Which communities will you strengthen? And which ones will you dare to build? Because if you leave here today with just one action, it should be this. Choose one community to create and one community to strengthen. The choice is yours because community isn't just what you've inherited, it's also about what you design and what you define for yourself. Thank you so much.